Hey guys, now that you know the parts of a clock, I am going to teach you guys how to read a clock. Read a clock, yep, you heard me. Just like you read a story, you also read a clock. But instead of reading words, you read numbers and you look at the hands to see what numbers they're pointing to be able to read the clock, which will help you tell what time it is. So the first thing you need to know about reading a clock and being able to tell what time it is on this clock is you first need to look at where the hour hand is pointing. Do you guys remember which one the hour hand is? You got it. It's the short one. Um, Also on my clock, it's the red one, and you need to look to see where it's pointing. I see that the hour hand is pointing to the 5. So I know that we start with 5 because we start by looking at the hour hand, and then we move on and look at the minute hand. So the minute hand is the long hand, and we need to notice where the minute hand is pointing. The minute hand is pointing to the 12. Anytime the minute hand is pointing to the 12, that means that 0 minutes have passed in the next hour. So we would say right now that this time is showing 5 o'clock. Anytime the minute hand is pointing on the 12, we say o'clock. O'clock just means that 0 minutes have passed in that hour. So we're on hour 5 and 0 minutes have passed, so we would say 5 o'clock. Let's try another one. I'm going to give you another time, and I want you to see if you can read it by looking at the hour hand first and then the minute hand. Let's stop here. So look at the hour hand first and then the minute hand. Remember, the hour hand is pointing to the 8, so we would read this time as 8 o'clock. Anytime the minute hand is pointing to the 12, we say o'clock at the end. 0 minutes have passed. Another important thing to know is that every time the minute hand moves all the way around the clock, that means 60 minutes have passed. That's what these smaller blue numbers are showing, is the minutes. So you'll see that at the top, a full 60 minutes have passed every single time the minute hand moves all the way around the clock. And another thing to think about is that after 60 minutes have passed, that means 1 whole hour has passed. So in every hour, there is 60 minutes. Once you get back up to the top at 12 and 60 minutes have passed, you have to start all over again back at 0 and keep counting on your minutes for the whole next hour. So let's start at 1 o'clock, and we're going to go around the entire clock saying what time it is. All right, so right now it is 1 o'clock. All right. 60 minutes is passing. The hour hand is moving to the next number. Boom, back at the top, 2 o'clock. All right, let's keep going. 3 o'clock. 4 o'clock. 5 o'clock. All right, what time is it now? 6 o'clock. Remember, every time the minute hand is moving all the way around the clock, that means 60 minutes is passing by in a full hour. And then we start back over at 0 minutes and count our minutes again. Now we're at 7 o'clock. 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock. 10 o'clock. 11 o'clock. And then when both the minute hand and the hour hand are pointing to the 12, that means it is 12 o'clock because that hour hand is hiding right behind the minute hand. So the hour hand is pointing to the 12, so we would say 12 o'clock. You guys might be wondering, does the hour hand only go around the clock once in a whole day? No, the hour hand actually makes its way around the entire clock twice in a day because there are 24 hours in an entire day and there's only 12 numbers on the clock. So that's why you might have the same time in the morning and at night. So for example, when you wake up for school, it might be 7 o'clock in the morning. And then when you're starting to maybe brush your teeth and get ready for bed, it might be 7 o'clock at night. So the hour hand makes its way around the clock twice in one day. Now that you guys know how to read the clock, I'm going to show you how you would write down what time it is after you're able to read it. So let's look back at our clock and see what time it's showing us. Okay, remember you have to look at the hour hand first and see where it's pointing. I see that it's pointing to the 1, so we are going to write a 1 down, and then what we're going to do is we're going to write a symbol. It's called a colon. It's just 2 dots right on top of each other, just like this. And anytime we're trying to write down 1 o'clock, we are going to write 2 zeros. Because remember, when the minute hand is at the top of the clock pointing to the 12, that means our minutes start over and there have been 0 minutes that have passed in this hour. So we're going to write 2 zeros after the 1. Let's look at another time and see if we can try to write that time down. All right, I'm looking at the hour hand first. I see that the hour hand is pointing to the 3 and the minute hand is pointing to the 12. So this is 3 o'clock. I need to write the hour first. 3, and then remember our 2 dots. 0, 0, 3 o'clock. Let's see if we were trying to write 5 o'clock. We would just do the same thing, only change our hour to 5. And then our 2 zeros. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. All right, and see if later you guys can go and try and write 9 o'clock. What would 9 o'clock look like? All right, guys, that is how you read and write time to the hour. So telling time to the hour just means that the minute hand is always going to point to the top of the hour where the hour starts over, where the minute hand is pointing to the 12. In the next video, I'm going to show you guys how you can read and write time to the half hour. That would be a time such as 4:30 or 5:30 or 6:30. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. All right, bye.